This episode was brought to you by segregation. Or integration. I figure we'll know which one by the end of the story. This story is called The Hero Who Hated the Legion. I'm curious though, who was the creative team on this book? Let's see, art by Mike Grell, okay, and the writer is a Mr. Cary Bates. Cary Bates? Wait, a story by Cary Bates? Oh, Cary Bates, so we meet again. Well, will this have the bonkers moments of his Trial the Flash run, or will it have the odd concepts of something like having Lex Luthor giving Superboy, unintentionally, the power of super biomagnetism? The issue begins with some unnamed black guy wearing either his best Zardoz outfit or his worst Vartox outfit, telling the Legion of Superheroes to go back where they came from. There also just so happens to be a bunch of black people behind him throwing rocks at the Legion. Wait, the White Legion versus a city of black people? Oh, so this is gonna be that type of story, isn't it? Yup! Well, apparently that scene takes place in the middle of the story. The story actually begins with Cosmic Boy looking like that, explaining to the rest of the Legion that gravity pulls down satellites from space. Okay, thanks for that information. Well, they're on a mission to recover one of the satellites that has a ton of stolen jewels in it. This satellite in particular has fallen near a island called Marzel. To quote someone else who's talking, it's an independent, totally self-sufficient community populated entirely by a black race that wants nothing to do with the outside world, end quote. And the island or country seems to just so happens to be very high-tech. You've got to be kidding me. It's a bootleg Wakanda. So Mr. Bates just basically copied Marvel's Black Panther. I may have been harsh on him in the past, but at least I gave him credit for being insanely creative. This is just lazy. Just as the Legion arrived, a gang called the Betas pop up and try to snatch the loot. Before anyone can do anything, the Betas start falling out of the air only to be caught by the most impressive of bubble technology. The Jim Kelly looking black man from the cover arrives, screams at the Biz ship, and it sonically, I guess, is tossed away into space. See, this is the type of things I expect from Cary Bates. The man's name is Tyrock, and he immediately departs and pops onto a big screen and tells all the citizens to not be nice to the Legion because they've never helped them before when they needed it. Was it because of their dark skin? He seems to think so. Time out. This is flawed thinking. While I get what Tyrock is saying, it doesn't make any sense. Here's the thing. Yes, superheroes can do humanitarian aid and such, but you know what heroes like the Legion, Superman, and Green Lantern do? Save the world. Humanity can and should take care of situations such as long-term disaster relief, feeding the homeless, and so on. But if the Anti-Monitor or Thanos pop up, what will they do? I had this problem with the beginning of the 1970s Green Arrow, Green Lantern crossover run when the old black man said, "Why don't you ever protect the black skins?" Well, it's because he protects all skins. He saved the planet by that point from destruction at least a half a dozen times. So anyway, Tyrock's message continues and he says that he'll see why the Betas came to Marzel. Superboy responds by saying Tyrock better not get in their way. Wow, how needlessly confrontational. Also, what if he does? Technically, you're trespassing, and if you do start anything, you kind of prove his point. This story is getting a bit silly. Yet another hallmark of a Cary Bates story. The Betas find the satellite, but it's suddenly exposed because of too much pink radiation.
Too much pink energy is dangerous.
The lone survivor makes some kissy sounds and faces, and Superboy hears it, and the Legion save the lone Beta. After Shadowlass does her thing, Superboy tosses the satellite into space again. Did they at least get the goods? If not, then this entire mission was pointless. Anywho, the Legion removed the mask of the lone Beta only to reveal that it's Tyrock. It seems he went undercover to find out where the other Betas were. The story ends with Superboy saying that the Legion are colorblind. Well, kinda. Shadowlass and Brainy are both blue and green, but they have Caucasian features. The only one of them that has a non-waspy look is Karate Kid. Tyrock apologizes and accepts an invitation to join the Legion of Superheroes. Once again, racism is solved because of one good deed. Sure, that's how that works. This is the second straight time I've read a comic that's done this. Was this a thing in the 1970s with DC Comics? Now, I'm gonna sound a bit redundant, but my problems with this issue are the same with the Lois Lane issue 106. It's a ham-fisted, overly simplified take on a very serious subject matter. Plus, there wasn't enough time to tell the story. 12 pages just isn't enough. It also doesn't help that the writer of the story isn't that good. I know people are gonna say, hey, this is just from the 70s, what do you expect? At least they tried, right? No. While Marvel Comics didn't have a ton of comics from what I've read so far that tackled this topic, they did have one that they did and did it very well. And the writer that did it very well. That writer was Chris Claremont on the X-Men. So that argument has a 0% merit. Well, now that's done, where to go next? Should I tell you about the time that Muhammad Ali fought Superman in space? Or when the Punisher temporarily became a black man? I could also take a look at one of Marvel Comics' attempt to create a black Batman. Yep, this happened back in the 1990s because of course it would happen back then. And that character is still around today.